Boy, has it all come down to this, yo. This is the way. I guess you can't keep secrets in Hollywood anymore. The Mandalorian, Chapter 13, directed by Dave Filoni. Of course, just watch the episode. You can tell it's directed by him. Even if you don't know that it was directed by him, you could tell. Featuring the first ever live action appearance of one AHSOKA Tano into Star Wars. The character that one would say is probably the most popular character from the Clone Wars TV show and Rebels as far as new Jedi go. Maybe Kanan, but I would say it's AHSOKA Tano. Is now in live action form. We had heard rumors about this for months. I mean, months and months and months about Rosario Dawson playing AHSOKA Tano in The Mandalorian. And it has indeed come to fruition here with Chapter 13. Remember, a couple episodes ago, Bo-Katan, another cartoon character or animated series character that is now live action, told Mando to go to the forest moon of Corvus or forest planet of Corvus to find AHSOKA Tano. And so we already had the clues there, and it's all built up to this. A very important episode in The Mandalorian. And let me tell you, they didn't wait. They didn't wait. The opening sequence is AHSOKA Tano kicking some ass with double lightsaber action. I did not think they were going to open up the episode like this. I thought they were going to build it up, build it up, build it up. They show her about halfway through. But no, she was there from the start. This episode had no foreplay. This episode, I was not expecting to go so deep so fast. No foreplay. Right in. You know what I'm talking about? And so the idea that in this episode, the Mandalorian shows up and he doesn't initially join her. It's not one of those stories where they just meet up and become buddies. No, he goes on the other side. He gets hired to take her out. He is hired as a hitman to take out AHSOKA Tano. Unexpected for sure, but probably the best idea they could have done to have those characters meet to where it would have given you the most value. And so Mando goes on his mission, right? And when he first confronts Ahsoka, man, this was quick, yo. And I love how they got the white lightsabers, the double lightsabers, and everything perfect, just like in the old show. You know, this episode really did reward you for being a fan or for watching Clone Wars and Rebels. It really does reward you for that. Now, obviously, this idea from Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni is definitely gimmick writing. A lot of it is nostalgia pops based on people who grew up as fans of Clone Wars and Rebels. If you are fans of those shows, it kind of gave you a lot of, you know, lore and Easter eggs. And if you've never seen those shows before, it's not going to ruin the experience. You're not going to be totally confused about what's going on because the show does a good enough job to kind of keep you up to speed. But it definitely does add layers to your viewing enjoyment if you have seen those shows, or at least if you know the general story of AHSOKA Tano being Anakin Skywalker's last student, and you know the whole trauma there with her, especially in season 7 of the Clone Wars, and then what happened in Rebels and all that stuff. You know, very, you know, a lot. You get rewarded for it, but I love their little back and forth, like. She's coming at him with the lightsabers. He throws a flamethrower at her, and then he tells her, "Yo, AHSOKA Tano, like Bo-Katan sent me." And then, because he realizes, like, you know, that's the Jedi that he's meant to go look for, and he probably knows deep down inside that she's not really bad, you know. And then she notices Baby Yoda, and here we go. And we find out from AHSOKA Tano directly that Baby Yoda's name, we now know his name, is GROGO. So now we know after all this time. There's no sense in calling him Baby Yoda anymore. It's GROGO. And Ahsoka explains to the Mandalorian, they have this really cute scene together, and she explains that we can sense each other. You know, we can't really speak, but we can sense each other, which is obviously Force telepathy. They can kind of sense each other's emotions and communicate that way. You know what I mean? Through the Force. And naturally, of course, anything involving the Force is a foreign concept to Mando. Even though he's seen the Force before, you know, he obviously does not know how to use the Force. At least they haven't revealed that yet. But he doesn't know what Ahsoka knows and what, you know, Baby Yoda knows about the Force. Yes, I called him Baby Yoda again. I don't care. And this scene was powerful, yo. They talk about how Grogu was trained by the Jedi, but during the Clone Wars and the end of the Republic and the rise of the Empire, he was hidden away. And she's like, they have this scene where she's like, I've only known one other being like this, a Jedi Master named Yoda. And when she says Yoda, you can hear in the background, do 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 do, like briefly, like the Yoda theme from Empire Strikes Back, dude. Man, that hit me right in the heart, bro. That was perfect sound engineering, perfect music right there to nail that emotional tone when she said Yoda's name, bro. In fact, speaking of like, Mando's knowledge of the Force, she has to explain to him like the energy field with the forces and whatnot. He just calls it, the child's powers, but I mean that is what it is, and it's all coming clear now to Mando as he learns more about the universe that he didn't previously know. During the training sequence, I loved it. I mean, they talk about how Grogu has a strong bond with Mando, and because of that, Ahsoka cannot train him because she senses fear in him, and much like with Anakin Skywalker, which is referenced here, although it doesn't say his name, she said, I've seen what these feels can do to even the best Jedi. Talking about Anakin, of course, what happened to him, she doesn't want to train him. She doesn't want to start him down that path. And Mando's like, look, like, you got to train this kid. He even agrees to help Ahsoka with her problem with the magistrate, the person who hired him earlier in the episode to take her out. So, he really wants her to train him because obviously he has potential. I mean, they show him, moving objects with his mind and whatnot. He just hasn't been properly trained because, according to what Ahsoka said, he suppressed his powers out of fear to hide them and whatnot. But he's got them. They're there. But she doesn't want to train him because she doesn't want to deal with another Vader, basically, is what's going on here. This scene with Ahsoka Tano and Mandalorian together, working together to break into the facility, right, and free the prisoners, one of my absolute favorite, maybe my favorite scene in the entire Mandalorian series so far. The way that she shows up and just slices and dices through these freaking guys, and then they're about to kill the prisoners, and then Mando shows up. And even before that, she throws away a piece of his armor. She's like, your bounty hunter failed. Tell me what you want me to know. And then she's like, kill her. And, they have just this classic, good guy versus bad guy confrontation, And the way they're working together and how he's using his weapons and his speed and she's using her Jedi powers and her speed. And it's just, dude, it was so visually pleasing, Like, Filoni's getting better and better at directing these live action things to where I would want to see a Dave Filoni live action film now. I don't know if he's ready to do a full one, like a full 2.5 hour movie, but this seasoning is helping tremendously. I mean, this episode was the best directing that Filoni's done for a live action show yet. And I think so. There's this duel, too, between the Magistrate and Ahsoka Tano. Dude, this was so awesome, Like, it wasn't quite a lightsaber duel because the Magistrate was using that Mandalorian staff made of that metal that can deflect lightsaber lasers and whatnot. But, dude, it was great. This might have been my favorite episode of Mandalorian yet. It might have been. I think it might be. And by the way, that is not easy for me to say because I've enjoyed pretty much almost every episode of The Mandalorian. I have enjoyed the hell out of this series, except for a couple of that weren't that good. But, there have been some really classic episodes. But this one was just, I mean, dude, when you bring in the Jedi and you have lightsabers and you have stuff like this and the backstory and the lore and the reveal of Baby Yoda's real name, oh, it's just, there's so much here. So as Ahsoka Tano wins, right, she's got the lightsaber up to her throat. She goes, where is your master? And I'm over here thinking, okay, Moff Tarkin, maybe even Snoke or Palpatine. I doubt it'd be Snoke. But, who could it be? Grand Admiral Thrawn. Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. Which, of course, we knew there was more to it. We knew he stuck around. This is no surprise, but yeah. Oh, man. Are we going to see Grand Admiral Thrawn in The Mandalorian? Is that what we're going to see, yo? That's what I'm thinking when I'm first seeing this. Like, what's going to happen there? So like in typical Mandalorian fashion, video game missions and things like that, we talked about this before, Ahsoka tells him, I can't train him, but if you take him to this planet, there's a pyramid, that's like a Jedi temple or whatever. Put him on top of the capstone or something like that. And it's like a seeing stone or something. And then Grogu will choose his own path, whether he wants to actually learn or not. And then possibly from there, he can create a Force link with a Jedi who will come after him. So that's pretty much what's going on. Once again, I'm sensing that this episode, like with maybe the Boba Fett stuff, is going to lead to another show or something like that, or maybe a movie or something, because I think that the Ahsoka Tano hunt for Grand Admiral Thrawn is still going to be going. Obviously, Thrawn hid after the end of Return of the Jedi, and there's actually some information about Grand Admiral Thrawn's role in what happened post Return of the Jedi, or actually during the original trilogy, that I read on Wikipedia a long time ago. I have not read the actual book that covers it, but there is a lot more that happens with Grand Admiral Thrawn within Disney canon. Of course, we're not talking about like the old, Timothy Zahn trilogy. We're talking about the new stuff now, not the original Grand Admiral Thrawn story from way back in the day. But he's still involved, and I think that's going to end up being its own TV show or whatever. They have to milk this, and they love doing it, so I think Ahsoka Tano's hunt for Grand Admiral Thrawn could happen in Mandalorian, or it could happen in the Ahsoka Tano live-action show, should they choose to go in that direction in the future. Once again, written and directed by Dave Filoni. Amazing episode. The best episode of Mandalorian I've seen so far. And damn, dude, how are they going to top this? And we're not even done. We still got, 4 more episodes left this season? Yeah, Chapter 13, thumbs up. I have no further words to say. Thank you so much for watching my review, and I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Is anybody else as hyped as I am? This made me feel things, and it was done right, and even though it's gimmick writing, it still works for me. Thank you, have a great day, and damn, where is this going to go next?